Hi, my name is James Gilpin and I'm the founder of Complete Goalkeeping. In this webinar, we're going to cover the techniques of handling. As Manuel Neuer says, take what's useful, leave out what's useless, and add a bit of yourself. We don't claim to know everything, however, we can give you some tips and some advice for goalkeeping. That's what we're here for. As a quick note, Complete Goalkeeping does not own any of the rights to the video content that's shown in the presentation, and we are using it purely for educational purposes. Okay, so when we look to break down handling techniques, we first have to look at the goalkeeper's positioning. So we're going to look at the movement, the positioning within the goal, and also the goalkeeper's set position. The different types of handling that we're going to cover in this webinar is the ball on the ground, known as the scoop, the medium low height catch, which is known as the cup, the medium head height catch, which is known as the W, the high ball, which is also known as an overhead ball, and then a bouncing ball, which can vary between a scoop, a cup, a W, and also an overhead catch. So we have three different types of movement that a goalkeeper might use before making a save. The first type is passive movement. This is the movement of the goalkeeper when they are not directly involved in the action. This, for example, could be if our team has the ball and they switch from left to right, the goalkeepers move with the play in order to stay involved. The second one is active movement. This is the movement of the goalkeeper to ensure correct positioning before making a save. For example, if the opponents play the ball into our box, the goalkeeper must move into line before getting set and making the save. The final type of movement is specific save movements. This, for example, could be a few quick lateral steps to get closer to the ball before making a diving save in the top corner, or perhaps getting up to make a recovery or follow-up save after the initial save. Various movements that a goalkeeper might use during the game are walking, which would be passive movement, just staying involved in the game like we talked about earlier. Running, which could be going to sweep up a ball that is being played into the channel, normally at least 15 yards in distance. Sprinting, which is a little bit shorter than running. It's probably a 10-yard sprint, which could be to come and sweep up a through ball that the striker might be through on a breakaway, maybe outside the box. He has to come out and clear it. We have side steps and crossover steps, which are normally used for getting into line with the ball before getting set to make the save. And then we also have three-quarter running or sprinting, which can be used to recover back to goal. For example, if the goalkeeper is on the penalty spot and a player hits a ball from the halfway line, going backwards is too slow and we never want to take our eyes off the ball. So we use three-quarter running because it's a fast, effective way to get back to the goal whilst always being able to see the ball. You can see from the diagram there, Courtois, the ball's going over his head and he's running sideways on a three-quarter sprint in order to get back and make the save. So, does the goalkeeper always have to have perfect positioning in order to make a save? No. A good save can still be made with poor positioning. However, the better the positioning, the easier it can be for the goalkeeper to execute the save. The factors that we look at when we're looking to take our position is the distance the ball is from the goal, the angle the ball is at in relation to the goal, the distance the ball is from the attacker's feet, the pressure that is applied on the attacker, and then also has the attacker had time to look up and see where the goalkeeper is. If we take a look at the image on the left, we can see David De Gea playing against Southampton. The yellow dotted line represents the ball line. That is the line or the imaginary line that we could draw from the ball that would go through the middle of the goalkeeper's 2 feet to the center of the goal. The two solid yellow lines represent the width of the goal. As you can see, David De Gea is in the middle of the goal, so he's adopted a great position, and he has roughly equal length on either side should the striker shoot to the left or to the right post. If we look to the image on the right, we can see exactly the same. The dotted line represents the ball line. The two solid lines is the line to the posts. With the ball on the angle, by adopting a great position, we can actually make the goal appear smaller, making it a smaller dive on either side, left and right, that David De Gea has to make. And again, if we just look at it from a different point of view, from behind the goal, you can see the goalkeeper has the yellow dotted line, the ball line, going through the middle of his legs. He is in line with the ball. He's slightly in front of his front post, that if he does make a diving save or a parry, it's going to go out for a corner and not into the side of the goal. And then you can also see that the further back towards his line he goes, the wider the line of the ball is from post to post, thus making it a bigger save either to the left or to the right. As well as getting in line with the ball, the goalkeeper also has to judge how far off his line he needs to be. As shown on the slide previously, if the goalkeeper stands way back on his goal line, the goal is too big and the striker has an easy finish either into the left or the right hand side of the goal. If you look at the image on the left with Victor Valdez, you can see he's too far off his line, almost out of his 6-yard box, which gives Falcao the easy option of lobbing the ball over his head. If we look at the picture on the right, you can see he's adopted a slightly further back position in the goal, so Ronaldo doesn't have the choice of an easy lob. From that distance, Valdez should be able to move his feet and get back to tip it over the bar. Alternatively, from adopting a great position and being a little bit closer to his line, he's going to encourage the striker to go with power as opposed to trying to lob the ball into the open space behind the goalkeeper. Now that we know that the goalkeeper has adopted a great position to give himself the best chance of making the save, we have to look at his set position and whether he's ready. The 4 key areas that we focus on are the head, the hands, the knees, and the feet. The goalkeeper's head should be steady, slightly forward in the middle of the body, with the eyes always focused on the ball. His hands, when the ball is within shooting range, should be hip height and hip width, with the palms facing slightly inwards. The arms should be extended out from the body with a slight bend at the elbow. The hand position will adjust depending on the type of shot. For example, if the ball is outside the box, the hands are going to be slightly higher. As the ball gets closer and almost into a breakaway situation, the goalkeeper is going to drop his hands closer to his ankles. Each goalkeeper might have different ways of getting set. As long as the main principles are there, most goalkeepers will go by preference. The knees should be slightly bent whilst the body remains upright to fill as much of the goal as possible and so that the leg muscles can operate effectively. We don't want the goalkeeper sitting on their heels where they're unable to be explosive, but we also don't want the legs locked upright where the goalkeeper is immobile. The goalkeeper should be on the balls of their feet so they're nice and ready, always with their feet in contact with the ground and roughly shoulder width apart. And again, we can see a couple of quick examples. On the left, we've got Fraser Foster. His head is forward, hands are hip height, hip width, with the palms facing slightly inwards. He has a slight bend in the knees, and his feet are just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. On the right, we have Manuel Neuer. This would probably be a set position for a ball that is a lot closer. You can see head and shoulders are nicely forward. Hands are at hip width, but also a little bit lower, closer to his ankles, down the side by his knees. His knees are also slightly more bent to get closer to the ground, and his feet, again, to help him get lower, a shoulder width apart. Like I said earlier, different goalkeepers will adopt different positions. A lot of it is preference. That might change on the height of the goalkeeper, the explosiveness of the goalkeeper, and again, the relationship between the distance from the ball to the goalkeeper and whereabouts in the goal area the ball is. Right, so the goalkeeper is in a good position. He's set and he's ready. Now we have to look at which technique he's going to use to make the save. This is focused on handling, so we're not going to talk about any diving. All these techniques are going to be used without the need to make a lateral dive to the ground. So the types of handling technique we're going to look at, as mentioned earlier, is the ball on the ground, which is the scoop, the medium to low height catch, which is the cup, the medium to head height catch, which is a W, the high ball, which is the overhead catch, and also that bouncing ball. Okay, there we have Keylor Navas thanking his coach for teaching him great positioning and handling. If our handling technique is solid and we adopt great positioning, life for a goalkeeper is that much easier. With that being said, here's Keylor Navas making a scoop save from a ball played in along the ground. You can see that he's bent his knees on a forward diagonal line to get in line with the ball. The weak side leg is going to drop in to form a right angle and provide extra protection. His shoulders are forward and in front of his body. His arms are extended out with his hands presented. His chin will go over the ball. Little fingers and elbows will come together as he scoops the ball into his chest. He'll then fall forward onto his forearms, and then he's got to make sure that he's in control of the ball so that he doesn't spill it out. Okay, one of the biggest things that I see with youth goalkeepers is they try to take the ball right in against their body. The hands need to be presented out, the arms extended, so as the ball comes in, it's clutched into the body with the chin over the ball. And we're going to watch a quick example here in the video. The next catch that we're going to look at is the medium low height catch, also known as the cup. This is going to be for a ball that's played in roughly from the goalkeeper's shins to the midsection. There'll be a slight bend in the goalkeeper's knees and torso as he gets his shoulders over the ball, and his arms are going to be stretched out, coming together underneath the ball. The goalkeeper is going to clutch the ball between the forearms and the chest. He is not going to use his hands in this save until he goes to secure the ball. Again, big thing I see with youth goalkeepers, as the first thing the ball hits is the goalkeeper's hands. The ball should go into the body, and then the forearms and the hands are used to secure the ball against the goalkeeper's chest. A very important thing to note is that the goalkeeper shouldn't be stood upright for this save, as that could allow the ball to hit the goalkeeper's chest and bounce off anywhere. We want to make that cup shape, like I said, with the shoulders forward and then the forearms and the hands securing the ball. If the ball is played to the side, then obviously the goalkeeper has to use sidestep to move laterally to get their body behind the ball. The last thing we want is for the goalkeeper to turn and allow that pathway for the ball to go through and go into the goal. Again, let's have a look at a couple of quick examples in the video. Okay, for a ball that's played in around the goalkeeper's chest and head height area, we're going to use the W catch. The goalkeeper's arms should be shoulder width apart with the weight on the balls of their feet. The goalkeeper again is going to move his head behind the ball, and then he's going to have his arms extended out and the elbows tucked in. As the ball comes in, the goalkeeper will make a hand position looking like a W on the top half back of the ball. Thumbs almost together with the index fingers roughly 2 inches apart. This is going to depend again on the goalkeeper. How big are their hands? Smaller hands might have to be slightly further apart. Bigger hands can be close together as they cover more surface area of the ball. Again, we want to make sure to highlight that the goalkeeper's elbows are tucked into the body, not out wide. If the goalkeeper's elbows are out wide and high, then this is going to increase the likelihood that the ball will pass through, and it also means that the ball is going to make contact with the goalkeeper's hands close to the face, thus reducing the reaction time and the space used to take the pace off the ball. Let's have a look at a video. Arguably, one of the hardest things that a goalkeeper is going to have to deal with for handling technique is going to be a ball that is bouncing or is played in and around the goalkeeper's feet. First off, the goalkeeper has to read the trajectory of the shot and decide if it's going to bounce or where it's going to bounce. They then have to analyze the trajectory after the bounce, So is it going to bounce right in at the feet? Is it bouncing a little bit earlier where it's going to bounce a little bit higher? And obviously, depending on the analysis of the ball coming in, they then have to choose which save they want to execute, whether it's going to be the scoop, the cup, the W, or the overhead catch. Again, I made a note there to say that external factors are going to play an important role with all saves, but even more so for a save after a bounce. We have to look at things such as the wind, the pitch condition, is it turf, is it grass, the spin on the ball, the curve on the ball, if it's dipping in, and then also where the opponents are positioned. If that ball is played in and there's a striker right in front of me, I have to be very careful to make sure that ball's secured and that I don't give up any rebounds. And the last catch that we're going to look at is the high ball or the overhead catch. This could be a cross from the side, or it could be the old up and under, which is going to come and land in and around the penalty box. The goalkeeper can choose to jump off one or both legs. If there's no pressure, the goalkeeper can jump off both legs to get a nice, secure, comfortable catch. If, however, there's an attacker in the way, or if there's traffic, maybe defenders from a corner, then the goalkeeper is going to look to bring up the outside knee to protect himself from any other players that are in and around. The goalkeeper's arms should be shoulder width apart. The arms are going to be stretched out to catch the ball at the highest point above the head. The hand position, again, we're looking to form that W shape on the top half back of the ball. Thumbs almost together and the index fingers roughly 2 inches apart. Again, one of the most important factors to consider is that the goalkeeper always keeps their eyes on the back of the ball and doesn't tuck the chin in when the ball's above their head. One of the things I see with youth goalkeepers is that they come in, the technique is very good, they get their hands on the back of the ball, but their eyes are looking down at the ground. This can lead to the ball going through the hands or spill just from a little bit lack of concentration. And let's take a look at a quick video. As we're coming towards the end of the webinar, I want to invite you to subscribe to www.completegoalkeeping.com. That way you can stay informed of all our camps, trainings, and future information that we send out. I want to advise you to check out our Junior Elite Summer Camp as well as our College ID camps. The Junior Elite camps is for ages 10 through 13. We have some of the best coaches in the nation, including college coaches from divisions 1, 2, 3 and NAIA schools. And then also we have our college ID camps, which cater for players that are also looking to play at those levels, division 1, 2, 3, and then also NAIA. With the college ID camp, there's also a lot of information, including a college recruiting guide for players to help them through that process. Make sure you tune in for our next webinar in the online training series. We're going to be covering shot stopping. That's going to include all the different kinds of dives that we're going to need to use during the game. And then most importantly, I encourage all players to get out on the field, play with friends, get into training so that you can reach your goals. If you have any questions or inquiries about complete goalkeeping, whether you're a player, coach, or parent, please feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you for watching this webinar, and a reminder, we are Complete Goalkeeping, your #1 resource for everything goalkeeping.